Okay, I'm back, everybody. It is the world's first and only dark skin activist, and I'm bringing this to you guys because I was asked for my thoughts and my commentary on this. First of all, I want to let you guys know to save the date because on Friday, which is June 26th, I got my live play coming out. It's called A Dark Skinned Woman's Revenge, and you can watch it online. This is so important. Watch it online. Go get your tickets from my website, darkskinactivist.com. Once again, that is darkskinactivist.com. So make sure you guys save that date. It's going to be at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm also going to be performing in Atlanta on the same date. So if you are in the Atlanta area, you can come out to the live show. Now, the live show is going to be at the White Label, and it's located at 349 Decatur Street, Southeast, Unit M, like Mary. The time is 7:30. It's going down. It's going down. I cannot wait. I'm up here getting excited. It's going down, y'all. So make sure y'all go, whether you want to watch it online or whether you want to come out to the live in-person show. Make sure y'all go and get your tickets. darkskinactivist.com. All right. Now I'm here to talk about this here. And let me tell y'all something. I've been saying this for years, people. I've been saying this for years after I ran across some information. And I can't tell y'all where I first ran across the information, but well before this Netflix thing came out. And this, this really is something that impacts me because I've been ripped off and stolen from. I brought colorism in terms of a topic to the internet. I brought darkism. I created the first platform to ever address the eradication of colorism and darkism. I was the first person to bring it on the internet. Nobody cared about it before me. Nobody did. I brought it online in 2009. Was invited onto Tommy Sotomayor's platform in 2014. I got more popular. And then in 2015, I blew up as far as people knowing who I am and what dark skin activism is through a post that I made about Kendrick Lamar and his light-skinned girlfriend. And lo and behold, people flocked to my channel and they ripped off my work. And I am going to, at some point, I don't know when, I'm going to file a federal lawsuit to hold these people accountable. So I have a very, very, very special place in my heart for people that have been ripped off and plagiarized. I don't like that. No one should get the credit for what they did not create. Just because you know how to steal and take, and you might know how to market, and you might know how to do all that, you didn't create it. You didn't create it. And that's a big problem. And this is why I'm not supporting, I won't be watching this. The only way that I would watch this is if someone pays me literally to watch it, to, give my critique on a platform or what have you. But other than that, in my personal life, I'm not watching it because I don't like what went down between Madam C.J. Walker and Annie Malone. And another thing too, and y'all are free to do your own research. Y'all can do you do not have to take everything that I'm saying for work, because I never tell people that. I always tell people, listen, use your own brain, do your own research. So I grew up in school and I was taught, I'm gonna tell y'all what I was taught, that Madam C.J. Walker invented the straightening comb. That is what I was taught. And then later I was taught that Madam C.J. Walker was the first Black female millionaire. And I admired her. I thought she was wonderful. I thought she was great. And for years I admired her. I read one of the books that she has a descendant she's kind of on the lighter skin side. Hold on one second. Let me Google it. And this lady is the one that I believe was behind the book. So I'm going to type in Madam C.J. Walker descendants. And I cannot remember her name, but she did publish a book. And she went around on a speaking. There she is right there. I'm going to pull her up. What is her name? And she's probably a large part of this movie, getting the great-granddaughter of Madam C.J. Walker. And she's the one that I saw a lot pushing Madam C.J. Walker's legacy forth. I saw her a lot, and I believed in these people, and I believed what they were saying. Let me do a screen share here because I want you guys to see who I am talking about. So let me share my screen with you real quick. Make sure y'all share this video. Make sure y'all like this video because there's something going on with YouTube and the views. I don't know what is going on, but people are not getting notifications. So make sure y'all share this video. Anyway, we're gonna keep going. Let's see, Madam C.J. Walker, her great, there she is. This light-skinned woman, and I'm trying to figure out how did she get light skin. That's another thing. How did she end up getting light skin? But you know, and that's no shade on her. It's just a question that I wonder. You know, the great granddaughter of Madam C.J. Walker, when Madam C.J. Walker and her daughter were dark skinned. So that's another question for research. All right, so let me click on one of these. Alila Bundles, that's her name. Alila Bundles. This woman right here, she is a powerhouse. I got to give it to her because she's done a great job in, you know, marketing Madam C.J. Walker as this, you know, iconic woman, being the first Black female millionaire and all these great things. So that's not what I'm mad about. I mean, I read the book that she put out. And, you know, I've been following Madam C.J. Walker and her story for quite some time now. And this woman here, Alila Bundles, and I believe she's named after Madam C.J. Walker's daughter, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, she has been pivotal in pushing forth Madam C.J. Walker's legacy. But then, and I can't remember where I read this book. I'm trying to see if I could pull up the book that she wrote. Alila Bundles. She wrote a book. Might misspell her name, but hopefully Google will spell check me. She did write a book. And let's see. I read this book a long time ago. I believe this is it right here. This is the book right here. And no, I take that back. Wait, is this it? Madam C.J. Walker Theater Company. Okay, Theater Company. She wrote a book. Alila Bundles did. On her own ground. There it is. I knew I was gonna find it, y'all. Come through. Dark skin activist always comes through. So she wrote this book, and she talked about Madam C.J. Walker, and she shaped and formed my beliefs and my perception of Madam C.J. Walker. And like I said, I'm not mad at her about speaking about her achievements at all. But I don't think that people have been intellectually honest, and I have a problem with that. Okay, Madam C.J. Walker was not the first Black female millionaire, and Madam C.J. Walker actually got the entire idea, just like someone on YouTube who plagiarized and ripped off my work. And this is why I'm very touched by this. I don't like to see people, especially Black women, taking and stealing from each other and then have another one get credit for it. No. So over the years, I've read a couple of articles, and I can't remember exactly how I ran into the information about Annie Malone. I can't remember, but I did. And Annie Malone was actually the predecessor. And Madam C.J. Walker actually went to her school. So here's one of the articles that I, pulled up, and this is from a reputable website. And you guys could do your own research, but I'm giving y'all the information that I have gotten over some of the information that I've gotten over the years. Y'all could do your own research. So let's look at this one article here. It says, meet Annie Turnbow Malone, the hair care entrepreneur Trump shouted out in his Black History Month proclamation. Oh, Trump shouted her out. Okay, here we go. She became a millionaire after giving Madam C.J. Walker her big break as a sales agent. Okay. So this is Annie Malone, ladies and gentlemen. Let's read this article. One of the first Black women to reach millionaire status did so by launching a hair care empire, and her name wasn't Madam C.J. Walker. Entrepreneur Annie Turnbow Malone reached this milestone at the end of World War I, and she just so happened to give beauty mogul Walker her start in the cosmetics industry. And that's the thing, people. Why is it that we're not giving the proper credit? If in fact Annie Malone reached millionaire status prior to Madam C.J. Walker, and she taught Madam C.J. Walker, why would you give Madam C.J. Walker all these accolades? It's not right. It's not right. This is not right. This is a historical crime, and I'm not supporting any movies or any documentaries where historical crimes have been committed. Okay, it's not right. So let's keep going. Since her 1957 death, however, Malone's tremendous achievements have been widely overlooked. John H. Whitfield, the author of the biography, A Friend of All Mankind, Mrs. Annie Turnbull Malone, and Poro College, spoke to Vox about Malone's work and legacy. Okay, so here we have an author. So you guys, if you want to conduct further research into this, and this is the reason why I write my books, because I know that people are lying and taking and stealing from the dark skin activists. I created the first platform for colorism and dark skin, and I have people that are stealing from me. And when I'm dead and gone, I want people to do the same thing. Go read a book, go do the research, do your due diligence, give credit where it's due. I don't want the historical crime that's happened to Annie Malone to happen to the dark skin activists. Okay. So this book is important. A Friend to All Mankind, Mrs. Annie Turnbull Malone. In fact, I'm going to go read this book. I'm going to click it on. I advise that everybody go read this book so we can give credit to the real creator of this lane and the first female Black millionaire, not Madam C.J. Walker. It's not right. So I'm going to leave this up here because I want y'all to get this book. I'm personally going to go get this book myself. And they got some used ones on here for $11.26. Y'all, we need to get this book. We need to pay homage to this woman. We need to pay homage. So I'm going to leave that up, and I'm going to drop the link inside the chat box so you guys can go and purchase that book or go to your local library and read the book and get the real true history, because Madam C.J. Walker was not the first. Let's keep reading this. Let's keep reading. It says, Mrs. Malone's legacy is a merging of women's health and economic independence, Whitfield said. After starting a hair care line inspired by Malone's products, Walker became one of the wealthiest Americans of the early 1900s. Did y'all hear what that just said? After starting a hair care line inspired by Malone's products, Walker became one of the wealthiest Americans of the early 1900s. So they're using the word inspired, but to me, I kind of think, you kind of playing around with it. I would call it more plagiarism. I would call it more taking from that person. That's what, because you didn't come up with it. You weren't the one that was learning from Annie, or Annie Malone wasn't the one learning from Madam C.J. Walker. It was the other way around. So I don't know about, I'm kind of on the fence about this so-called inspired. I think it's a guise to plagiarize people. And I'll be willing to bet y'all, I never seen who this author was a day in my life, but I bet you that this author that told the truth about Annie Malone actually being the first female millionaire and the accolades that they give to Madam C.J. Walker, this man told the truth that it should actually be given to Annie Malone. I bet you this man is white. So let's Google and see. I bet you. And we have to ask ourselves as Black people, why is it always white people? The same thing with Claudette Colvin, a white author, was the one that wrote the book. Okay? Let's see. John Whitfield. I might be wrong. Let's see. I might be wrong. Is this him? John Whitfield, author of, I want to see it. A Friend to All Mankind. A Friend to All Mankind. I want to see if there's pictures of him. Who is this author? If y'all can go and do some research onto who this, because his picture is not coming up apparently here, but I would be willing to bet that John Whitfield is probably a white man. Okay, I would put money on it. But please feel free to go do your research and come back and let me know if I'm right. I would be willing to bet. The author of Claudette Colvin's book. Let's see if we can pull him up. Okay, this is Claudette Colvin, her book, and I would be willing to bet that a white author wrote this book. Is this him? Let's see. Let's see. Yep, this is him. This looks like it's him. Give me a second, y'all. Sometimes I have these crazy pop-ups. But I'm getting to a point. Philip Hoos, that's his name. This is Philip Hoos, a white man. Why is it that it's white people that tell the truth about the accomplishments of Black people? This is Philip Hoos, the author of a book that told the truth about the dark-skinned Claudette Colvin coming before Rosa Parks. Okay? This is the white author. There he is right there. The white author. Okay? And the book is right here. This is the book. It's called Claudette Colvin Twice. Let me see. I got to pull it up here closer so I can see what the words. Twice Towards Justice. Now, in the same way, I am willing to bet y'all any amount of money that John Whitfield, who wrote the book about Annie Malone, is a white man. So I just want to take a minute here to ponder on this, folks. And I'm going to close out some of these windows here. I want us to just take a minute to ponder. Why is it that it is the white males or females? It doesn't matter which one. Why is it that it's the white male or female that takes up the cause to tell the truth and write about Black history? What? Think about that. Y'all need to think long and hard about that. Long and hard about that, because it's just, it's just a crime that we cannot recognize and tell the truth about who actually did what. It's a crime, people. It's not right. Okay. I want y'all to think about that, though. That question, why is it that it's white people that will tell the truth about Black history? Why? Why? Let's keep reading. So after starting a hair care line inspired by Malone's products, Walker became one of the wealthiest Americans of the early 1900s. She's since become a staple of Black History Month lessons. See, that's where I learned about it. And there's a Netflix show in the works about her life, starring Octavia Spencer. Even people who aren't very familiar with Walker likely know that she made a killing in the hair care business. But a mention of Annie Malone outside St. Louis, where her business was first headquartered, is likely to elicit blank stares. The website of the State Historical Society of Missouri admits as much. Annie Turnbull Malone's legacy as a pioneer in the African-American beauty and cosmetic business has largely been overshadowed by the success of her former employee, Madam C.J. Walker. It states, this is beginning to change, however, and Malone is now being recognized for her role in launching the industry. In fact, along with Mary McLeod Bethune and Booker T. Washington, Malone was one of the public figures mentioned in President Donald Trump's 2019 proclamation of Black History Month. It says, the quote here is, Annie Malone became one of the most successful entrepreneurs in America at the turn of the century and provided opportunities for African Americans to pursue meaningful careers, the proclamation said. And this is some of the footage. It says, this is Annie Turnbull Malone's, she stands in front of Poro College with others affiliated with the institution. This is her college that she built. Madam C.J. Walker, you didn't do this stuff first. You didn't. You got it from Annie Malone. Let's be honest. They're trying to downplay this woman when she actually created it. And it's a historical crime. Let's keep reading. When hair salons were still anomalies, Malone helped to popularize cosmetology schools through her own Poro College and teach women about the importance of scalp health. And before corporate responsibility became a buzzword, she modeled the idea that business owners should give away much of their wealth. It's also not hyperbole to suggest that without Annie Malone, Madam C.J. Walker would not have become a household name. Malone, after all, gave Walker, then working as a laundress, her first job as a hair care sales agent. And that's the part where that they left out in the Black history lessons. They don't tell you that it was a Annie Malone that gave Madam C.J. Walker her start. It doesn't tell you that. I remember reading different books and listening to different lessons, and they just talked about her being this laundress and how she worked day and night, but they don't mention anything about Malone. That is a historical crime. A historical crime. A historical crime to do that. They're not being honest. And this is what I'm talking about. This is why I'm not watching and supporting that movie. I'm not watching it. I'm not supporting it. Let's keep reading. Okay, let's start at that paragraph again, because I want y'all to get this. It's also not hyperbole to suggest that without Annie Malone, Madam C.J. Walker would not have become a household name. Malone, after all, gave Walker, then working as a laundress, her first job as a hair care sales agent. Walker lived a shorter and arguably more dramatic life than Malone did. One reason why she eclipsed her former mentor to reach almost mythological status after her death. But history shows that both of these women and their interconnected stories deserve attention more than a century after they became two of the most influential entrepreneurs in the United States. I would say Annie Malone deserves it more because she actually created it. Madam C.J. Walker didn't. I mean, God bless the dead, but this woman basically, you're plagiarizing, you're stealing another person's idea. Let's be honest. Annie Malone had a knack for chemistry and a fascination with hair. Annie Malone was born in Metropolis, Illinois, to former enslaved parents in 1869. As a girl, she was fascinated by hair and by chemistry, but illness forced her out of high school. In spite of this setback, Malone continued to experiment with chemistry. With the guidance of her herbalist aunt, she began to make hair products catered to Black women. One of her first products was a liquid shampoo, but Malone was particularly interested in finding a way to straighten hair that didn't damage the hair follicles. At the turn of the century, women often used bacon grease, heavy oils, and butter to straighten hair. Some also used a mixture of lye and potatoes. All of these methods were harmful to hair and scalp, so Malone experimented until she found a hair straightening formula that wasn't so harsh. She called it the Wonderful Hair Grower. Okay, again, Madam C.J. Walker, this woman was before you and you took from her. The glory and honor and praise should be going to Annie Malone. Listen to what we're reading. This is a historian that has apparently researched this. Y'all can do y'all own research. I encourage you to. Stop being bamboozled. I'm not bamboozled anymore. And I'm happy about it. Let me keep reading. In 1902, Malone moved from Southern Illinois to St. Louis, Missouri, which was hosting the 1904 World's Fair. She figured during this time, she could attract major business in the city, which also boasted one of the nation's largest Black populations, and opened a shop on Market Street. At some point, likely in 1903, she met her most famous client, Madam C.J. Walker, who then went by the name Sarah Davis or Sarah McWilliams. Walker had battled hair loss for years due to dandruff and psoriasis of the scalp, then known as tetter. Malone knew that the harsh alcohol-based tonics marketed for the condition only made tetter worse and recommended that Walker regularly wash her hair, use a sulfur-based treatment, improve her diet, and practice scalp massage to remedy her follicles' woes. Now, this woman Malone helped Madam C.J. Walker, and look at how she did her. The same thing has happened to me online. The same thing. I created dark skin activism. No dark-skinned woman or light-skinned woman cared about it. I created the first channel. I got bashed for it, beat down for it. They flocked to my channel and ripped off and stole my work. Let that sink in for a minute. Annie Malone helped Madam C.J. Walker, and look at the thanks that this woman got in return. Look at the thanks that Annie Malone got in return. This is why I'm doing this, because I want to honor Annie Malone, because it's just, you don't do this to people. It's evil. It's evil. It's so wrong. It's just so morally wrong. And I'm not going to support that movie. I mean, they got enough people that's going to watch it and continue to be bamboozled. I'm not one of them. I don't go along with what's popular. I go along with what is right. I go along with what is right. So let's keep reading. Malone's motto was clean scalps mean clean bodies, because the method worked. Before long, Walker's hair grew from shorter than her ears to past her shoulders. So she helped you grow your hair, Madam C.J. Walker, and your thanks was to plagiarize her business. That's what you did. God bless the dead, no shade. But if these facts are true, and I believe them, you plagiarize. And you want everybody, her family wants everybody to praise Madam C.J. Walker as if she's did something great. No, clearly this was the creation and invention of Annie Malone. Annie Malone was the one behind all the hard work, the chemistry. And she's the one that studied this stuff and put everything together and put the business together. And you come along, you get help from the woman, and you know, she helps to grow your hair, she gives you a job, and you thank her by stealing. It's horrible. But it's called karma, and I do believe in something called karma. Let's keep reading. Mrs. Malone's Poro system was not based on hairstyling as much as it was on scalp hygiene, according to Whitfield. When Walker moved to Denver in 1905, she began to sell her own products, which were clearly modeled after Malone's. This shows you the character that Madam C.J. Walker had. Anybody that would do this, God bless the dead, but you don't have good character. You're not a good person. Anybody would that, and I can only imagine how Annie Malone felt, because I know how I feel with Black women on YouTube that are plagiarizing and ripping off my entire channel because they have bigger platforms. They came to my channel, they studied what I'm doing, they didn't create anything, they were talking about other things, but they see that what I'm doing is great. See, they always come to the greats, the geniuses, the brilliant ones, and they take it, they steal. And that is exactly what has happened to me. And that's the same thing we can clearly see that happened to Annie Malone. And I'm actually disgusted and sickened by it. I don't know how anybody could sit there and watch this movie with the information that is out there where you can do some research and you find this out. I don't know how you can watch the movie and praise her. I can't do it anymore. And I was fooled at one time, just like everybody else, because they do a good job marketing. And food marketing can be used for good things and bad things. Marketing can be used to deceive people, lie to people, or marketing can be used for what is right. And in this case, marketing has been used to deceive people. I'm not watching this movie. I will not watch it. Continue right along. So let's see. When Walker moved to Denver in 1905, she began to sell her own products, which were clearly modeled after Malone's. She too had a product called Wonderful Hair Grower. How are you going to call your product the same thing? For example, a furious Malone took out an ad in the Colorado Statesman warning readers to beware of imitations. But Walker's career continued to soar. Rivals who both achieved great success. Though Annie Malone and Madam C.J. Walker were business rivals, both women achieved great wealth after finding their niche in the hair care business. Walker died of kidney failure at age 51 in 1919, with a net worth of roughly $600,000, according to her great-great-granddaughter's biography on her own ground, The Life and Times of Madam C.J. Walker. By this time, Malone was already a millionaire. So why are people lying and saying that Madam C.J. Walker was the first one? You're lying. I will not support this movie. I will not, because it's a historical crime. It is a fraud. It's not true. Okay? She's not. It's wrong. Let's keep reading. But Walker is the mogul who was wrongly labeled the first female self-made millionaire. And they even named the damn movie Self-Made. I don't understand how people could go to sleep at night, but some people just don't give a damn. Some people, and karma, you know, karma has its way of catching up with you when you do people wrong. It comes in many different ways when you do people wrong. And that's why people You know, people are watching this movie, but it's also forcing the discussion on Annie Malone. And that's karma coming in. Because for years, they've been pushing Madam C.J. Walker, Madam C.J. Walker. But karma is coming in right now. Because now we up here talking about Annie Malone. We're talking about Annie Malone right now. Okay. We talk about Annie Malone, who was the first millionaire. Annie Malone. Annie Malone. And let me get her picture off there. I'm just infuriated by this. I really am, because it's just so wrong to take and steal from another Black woman. And again, karma has a way of catching up to people. This woman lived a very long life. I believe she died. They're going to tell us when she passed away. Karma has a way of catching up to people. When you do wrong, you won't be able to escape karma. Let's keep reading. After her untimely death, Walker was also falsely credited with inventing chemical hair relaxers and the hot comb. See, I was taught that in school, and it's not true. She did not invent the hot comb. In fact, neither she nor Malone invented the hot comb. The honor goes to a Frenchman named Marcel Groteau, I hope I'm saying his name right, who reportedly created the hair tool in 1872 for white women seeking to wear their hair in sleek Cleopatra-style bobs. When Groteau came up with his invention, both Walker and Malone were small children. But Walker's death turned her into a legend of sorts. The story of Madam C.J. Walker was popularized justifiably from photographs demonstrating the growth of her wealth, albeit short-lived, and that's the truth. Her wealth was, she did lose money, and they weren't able to keep the money. That's what I'm saying. Karma got a way of catching up to people. When you take and steal from somebody, let this be a lesson. Karma got a way of catching up to you, even in your death, because now Annie Malone is experiencing a rebirth. Let me keep reading. The story of Madam C.J. Walker was popularized justifiably from photographs demonstrating the growth of her wealth, albeit short-lived. Albeit short-lived. And if y'all read the book, you'll know her wealth was short-lived. And the appeal of her rags to riches experience, what Whitfield said. The story of Mrs. Annie Turnbull Malone exemplified a different focus, self-help and personal dignity. While Malone was formally educated in the North, Walker was born on a Louisiana plantation and spent just a few months in the classroom as a child. She married at 14, had a daughter a few years later, and was widowed at 20. In spite of these odds, she went from washerwoman to businesswoman. That amazing trajectory combined with Walker's PR savvy, she was married to Adam C.J. Walker, is likely one of the reasons she reached almost mythical status. But it doesn't matter if you have not been honest. I don't care about any of that. Because like I said, once I found out, and I was one of those people that was caught up in the mythical status of Madam C.J. Walker. I'm not anymore, because this was not honest. I don't like what she did to Annie Malone. I am not a Madam C.J. Walker fan. God bless the dead, but I'm not. I'm dealing with the historical truths here. That's the reason why. It's not because I don't know her as a person, but I don't like what she did. It was just, I don't see how anybody could argue that this is right. I just will not watch this movie and support it. And people that are ignorant of the situation, they're not doing their research. They just want to be entertained. They don't want to read books. They just want to watch stuff. I hate people that just only want to watch YouTube videos and want to come and try to tell me something. No, you're not engaged in scholarship. Everybody is not stupid. Everybody is not ignorant. Some people still like scholarship. While y'all like YouTube, I like YouTube too, but I like scholarship. I like historical accuracy. I like facts. And if I find that you're a liar and you're not honest, I wash my hands of you. I'm done. I don't care who you are. But there's room enough in history to honor Malone and Walker, especially since the former business expertise led to the rise of the latter. Exactly. If it wasn't then for Malone's business expertise and creating the platform and the institution before Madam C.J. Walker, you wouldn't have had nothing. Would she have came up with this had she not worked for Annie Malone? Let's keep reading. One generation removed from slavery, these two Black women both ran wildly successful business empires unimaginable to even the average American, let alone to average Black women who worked mostly as domestics during the turn of the century. Malone's life, on the other hand, was hardly as dramatic as Walker's. While both women were orphaned as children, Malone hadn't experienced abject poverty in the South or widowhood as Walker had. In short, her life was not as sensational and thus not as headline grabbing as her former clients was. Malone's long life was another reason her story wasn't mythologized. She lived to be nearly 90. 90. Okay. She saw her business through the Great Depression and managed to keep it under her control after her costly divorce from her second husband by the 1950s. 32 branches of her Poro Cosmology School were up and running across the country. Okay. This, to me, in the end, Annie Malone actually won. Okay. I'm going to stop the screen share and I might still keep reading some of that. But she won. Now, y'all can do your own research on this. Okay. Madam C.J. Walker passed away at 51 years old. Let that sink in. Annie Malone passed away at around 90. Madam C.J. Walker also lost most of the wealth because her daughter, from the book I read, she wasn't a good money manager and she liked to party and she wasn't as good as in business as her mother. So they lost most of the wealth. The schools closed down. Y'all can go read the book. I gave y'all the book. Y'all can go read this and research it. But Annie Malone, on the other hand, thrived. It's called karma. And now karma is coming back because people think that by making this Netflix special on Madam C.J. Walker, that she was going to get all the praise and all the credit and glory. This is making people learn about Annie Malone. It's karma. Whenever you take and steal and rip somebody off, karma, I believe in it. Karma is always going to come and rear its ugly head. And it's not ugly. It's actually the right thing. In some way, shape, form, or fashion. Annie Malone lived to be 90, almost 90 years old. Almost 90 years old. Almost 90 years old. God blessed her with a long life. And she was not in abject poverty. She did not lose the bulk of her wealth. Like, she went through some economic hardships, but it wasn't to the level of Madam C.J. Walker. Madam C.J. Walker actually did, like I said, y'all could do y'all research on it. Madam C.J. Walker her businesses did not thrive to the level that it was at the time. And we see that, just to make a comparison, some of these white institutions, they started back hundreds of years ago and they're still in existence. The reason why I believe we hear about Madam C.J. Walker is because of her great-great-granddaughter pushing it. And they know that they can make money off of it like they're doing right now. But I'm pretty sure that Madam C.J. Walker, that's benefiting her descendants. But I'm pretty sure that Madam C.J. Walker wanted to live to be old like Annie Malone. But when you don't do the right thing by people, when you take from people, it's called karma. It's called karma, people. Let this be a lesson to you. And I'm just like, wow. And I remember reading that, Annie Malone lived a long life. Of this long life. I think I want to live to be an old lady. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like in the end, even though we people have lied and they haven't been honest, I feel like Annie Malone in the end, she won. I really do. And I'm here talking about her right now today, even though they tried to just, deplete her from history, because that's what I feel they're trying to do. Because in the books, they didn't talk about Annie Malone. But I'm here right now on YouTube talking about her, and people are talking about her. We got articles written about her. We got a book written about her. And I believe the documentary, I will go and watch the Annie Malone documentary. And I don't care if Madam C.J. Walker was dark skinned. I don't care. I don't condone anybody plagiarizing or stealing. I don't care about none of that. What I care about is honesty and truth. Sub-Zero 3639 said, let me read your comment. You said, also, Madam C.J. Walker was located in NYC Harlem. That made her famous. She was a friend of many Harlem Renaissance poets, Marcus Garvey and Booker T. Washington. Okay, gotcha. And that is true. But in the end, just by the life lived, you pass a 51 is pretty young to pass away. And she lost her money. She lost her money. If y'all don't believe me, hold on, let's Google this. Let me see. Let me pull up some. After she died, her daughter was not able to keep that money. Y'all can do the research. Hold on. The Washington Post. I'm pulling up an article here. Let's see if I can kind of get to the point here. Give me a second. And again, y'all can do y'all research. Do y'all research. Please. You ain't got to just believe me. Do y'all own research. In the book that I cited by Alila Bundles, that she wrote about her great-great-grandmother, she talked about how, and I'm paraphrasing right now, but she spoke on how after Madam C.J. Walker passed away at the young age of 51 versus Malone, Annie Malone, who lived to be in her 90s, that her daughter was not able to keep the wealth that Madam C.J. Walker built up. She was not able to keep the wealth. She wasn't. The business, the school shut down. The legacy is not there. It's just the legacy more so in words and pictures and memories, and now this documentary. But as far as the business, the business is not in existence still. Y'all gotta think about that. Why is it? Why is that? Why is that? Yeah, the business sort of disintegrated. I mean, we don't have a thriving, well-known Madam C.J. Walker business to this day, although I do believe that somewhere someone is selling some type of Madam C.J. Walker products. And I think there was a couple of years ago, I had gotten into contact with a company that I believe was selling her products. And I'm just Googling it right now. This was a while back. So it was a Black-owned company. And I'm not sure if they still, let me see. It was a Black-owned company that was selling her hair products. And y'all can do y'all research and find out everything I'm saying is true. And I actually called the number and I spoke to at length to the woman about the products. And at this time, I wasn't aware of what had taken place between Madam C.J. Walker and Annie Malone. And so I was this big fan and supporter of Madam C.J. Walker. But, there's no, for example, I believe that McDonald's is going to continue to thrive. I don't think that I think McDonald's is going to obviously it's already outlived its founders. You know, there's certain businesses that are created that are going to continue to thrive even after the founder has passed away. And I kind of think that the reason why we don't see products sold in mass by Madam C.J. Walker is because of the karma, because of what happened between these two women, you know, and it's just wrong. I mean, I could just only imagine how Annie Malone must have felt after this woman had helped her and, you know, befriended her, helped her grow her hair, and helped her do all these things, and for her to turn around and to just take from her like that. I could only imagine how. That's the story to me that I want to see. I want to see a documentary that goes into detail in terms of the psyche of how did Annie Malone feel after she put in all that work, and this woman comes along and did this to her. How does she feel? That's the more interesting story to me. I want to see the Annie Malone Netflix documentary. Where's the Annie Malone Netflix documentary? That's what I want to see, y'all. That is what I want to see. The Annie Malone Netflix documentary. And let's just go. I want to, because I really want to give her honor here. This is my way of paying homage and paying tribute to her. There's another very interesting article here that I pulled up, and I'm going to drop the article inside the chat box. And you guys could Google Annie Malone, and y'all are going to come up with a lot of different articles. And by the way, I want to invite everybody to my online play. It's online. It's going to be June 26th, which is a Friday. June 26th, a Friday. And it's online. You can watch it from anywhere in the world online through a live stream pay-per-view. So I want y'all to go ahead. I want y'all to get y'all tickets right now. I want to say thank you to everybody that's already bought their tickets. I do appreciate y'all. Let me do a quick screen share here before I get into that next article, because this is important to me. We got to do better. Go to my website, darkskinactivist.com. Once again, that is darkskinactivist.com. And this is my website right here. And I'm going to copy and paste and drop that link inside the chat. And I want you guys to go ahead and purchase your tickets. So as you can see here, this is the online tickets that you can buy. You can watch it from anywhere in the world in the comfort of your own home. You just click the buy now button. And if you scroll down, this is the tickets for the people that are in Atlanta. So you can click the buy now button and buy your tickets. And it's going to be on Friday, June 26th. The date is there. 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for those of you that are watching online. And for those of you that want to come out to the live performance in Atlanta, I'm going to be at the White Label. Once again, that's the White Label at 349 Decatur Street Southeast, Unit M in Atlanta, Georgia. And all the information is here. And right after the show, I'm going to be doing one of my classic darkism talks that I created, I originated. And I want you guys to come out and enjoy, because I did, just like people are trying to, you know, they took from Annie Malone. They're doing the same thing to me. I'm the one that created the word darkism, and I wrote a book called Darkism. So I do darkism talks after my dark skin play. I created this entire lane. And that's why I'm in support of Annie Malone, because I don't like people being ripped off and stolen from. So I'm asking you guys to support this. I'm asking you to share this with your friends and family. Let everybody know. If you got people that live in the Atlanta area, tell them to come on out, share. If you want to get a free ticket, hit me up on my Facebook, and I'll tell you how you can get a free ticket to the show, whether it's online or whether it's in person. Okay. Also, I want to remind everybody that I'm still raising funds to produce the play. So please go and make a donation or a contribution to my Cash App. My Cash App is $Rashida Once again, that's $Rashida. You can also go to my PayPal, which is icecreamladydream@yahoo.com. Once again, icecreamladydream@yahoo.com. Make a donation. Thank you to all people who already bought tickets. Thank you to everybody who's already made a donation. I appreciate y'all. I still have a long way to go. I have to pay for the venue. I have to pay for the travel. I have to pay for the marketing costs, I have to pay for the tech costs, and I have to pay for the cost of the live stream. So please go to one of my financial platforms. Here's my GoFundMe and make a donation. Please make a donation. I want to say thank you to the people that have donated so far. These are all the people that have donated. I appreciate y'all. Y'all helping me to make this happen. If you donate $100 or more, that secures your ticket. So you can have a ticket to the live show in Atlanta or the online show. So get your tickets, secure your tickets now. So now I want to go back to this article about Annie Malone because she's very important. And obviously that's the reason why I'm making this live. There's Annie Malone again, the real first female millionaire and the real creator of the black hair care industry, not Madam C.J. Walker. Annie Malone was a millionaire black hair icon whose mansions were listed in the Green Book, but her legacy is often overlooked. Well, Rashida Strober, the dark-skinned activist, is not overlooking it. And I want to see that Netflix movie. I'm watching that. I want to see it in the movie theaters. Okay, it's alleged that Annie Malone's former protege stole her hair formulas and passed them off as her own. Boy, that sounds familiar. That's exactly what's going on with Rashida Strober, the dark-skinned activist, on YouTube. People have came to my channel, stole and plagiarized my channel. They created derivative channels and they're passing it off as their own. Wow. The movie Green Book is up for Best Picture at Sunday's Academy Awards from, wait a minute, let me make sure this is about Annie. Hold on one second. Gotta make sure this is, I want to make sure this article, because sometimes, okay, there we go, making sure. All right. Mollison Elementary is rightfully proud of its heritage. The school is named in honor of Irvin Mollison, a Chicago lawyer who in 1945 broke down color barriers as the first African American to be appointed to a federal judgeship in the United States. Along with the legacy, Mollison's location at 4415 South King Drive places it within a historic community that the school's About Us webpage notes was once the home of author Lorraine Hansberry, Bessie Coleman, the first woman of color to hold a pilot's license, publishing titan John H. Johnson, and the legendary musician Louis Armstrong. An impressive list to be sure, but there's one name missing, a name that construction of the school, through no fault of its own, inadvertently buried: Annie Minerva Turnbow Malone. Annie's Poro College, categorized as a tourist home in Green Book editions from 1947 to 1962, formally graced the land now occupied by Mollison, an instance of one institution with ties to a key figure in African American history resting atop the ghost of another. Okay, let's keep going. Malone may not be a household name today, but the line of Poro hair care products that she invented, Poro hair care products, revolutionary straighteners and oils that didn't damage the scalp, were once a staple in African American households, sold door to door by Poro's network of agents. Poro reported assets of $14 million in 1920, making Malone arguably the first recorded female African American millionaire. Adjusting for inflation, her fortune would be worth $186 million today. I'm stopping the screen share and I'm reading this because I want y'all to see my face. Y'all can go and read the article. I dropped the link in the chat already. Let's keep going. Adjusting for inflation, her fortune would be worth $186 million in today's dollars. That way outnumbered what the net worth of Madam C.J. Walker. Not only did this woman, the real deal, outnumber her in the millions that she made, okay, but she also outlived her. I don't understand why we don't have a movie, not on Netflix, in the theaters around the country, on Annie Malone. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. Let me keep reading. Which has led some to call Malone the Oprah Winfrey of her day. But Estee Lauder or Mary Kay Ash would be a more apt comparison, or possibly even Sergey Brin. If you work for Poro, it was equivalent to Google or Apple, said Reynard Allison, a Bronzeville resident with more than 2 decades of experience in the hair industry. Allison has spent the past several years researching Malone, among others, while in pre-production on a documentary called Black Hair Empire. Thank you to this person named Allison. Thank you, Renard Allison. I'm sorry. There needs to be a movie specifically about Annie Malone. Let's keep reading. The original Poirot College, established in St. Louis, included a manufacturing plant, a theater, a dormitory, a chapel, a laundry service, a dining hall, and rooftop garden, among other amenities. Now, Madam C.J. Walker copied this lady because Madam C.J. Walker later started to establish colleges, a college, and things of that nature. But Annie Malone did it first. You did plagiarize her. It is what it is. Let's be honest. Let's keep reading. Black beauticians came from across the country for instruction in black hair and skincare training that would provide them with the foundation to establish their own beauty care business, courses including coaching on how to walk, talk, and dress for work. Among the program's graduates, Chuck Berry, a guy better known for the way he wielded a guitar than Barbara Shears. And by the way, because I want to be intellectually honest, this article comes from a website called Block Club Chicago. And the writer who wrote this is Patty Wetley. Okay? Because I want to be intellectually honest. And this was written February 21st, 2019. So shout out to the person that wrote this, because you're giving us the truth. Okay? It was a campus, Allison said of the college. This place was at its time state of the art. It was incomparable. Malone was way ahead of her time. Poirot's headquarters shifted from St. Louis to Chicago in 1930 to move production closer to the company's largest customer base. Malone bought up an entire block of Greystone mansions previously owned by ultra-wealthy men, a transaction breathlessly reported in the Afro-American newspaper, and renovated the structures to suit Poirot's needs. Chicago, in my opinion, is the capital of Negro America, Malone told the Afro-American. The people here are accomplishing things. The atmosphere is one of commercial thriving, endeavor, and promise. St. Louis, by contrast, was in most of its attitudes a southern city, she continued. My experience would lead me to doubt that Negro businesses can grow to large magnitude in the South without feeling something of restraint, as well as a certain sense of insecurity. This woman, her business acumen, folks, was just amazing. To me, her story, I would venture to say, and this is my humble opinion, is more interesting than Madam C.J. Walker's. This is how I see it. And I am hoping that we see a movie. We see the Annie Malone movie, the real creator of the hair care industry. That's what I want to see. The real creator, the real first Black female millionaire. Okay? This is only right. And I know there's going to be a producer out there that's going to, eventually they're going to produce this show and we're going to see it. And I'm looking forward to that day that it comes. And I just want to encourage you guys to do your own research. Don't just, believe everything you hear. And then once you get true and accurate information, this is probably the most important thing. Spread it. Spread the truth. Spread the honesty. And this is my way of paying homage to Annie Malone by using my platform to share this information with you guys. It's so important. And it's no better time than to do it now that they've got this movie out about Madam C.J. Walker saying that she was self-made. I don't agree with that. You weren't necessarily self-made. She had to attend Annie Malone's Poirot School, or, she's a part of Annie Malone's organization. She was an agent. She was hired by Annie Malone. She was under the tutelage of Annie Malone. Okay. So I'm not sure how self-made that is. I'm not sure if we should be using the words self-made. If Madam C.J. Walker, and I'm all for giving people their credit, y'all. If Madam C.J. Walker actually came up with, you know, the idea from her own head and there was no Annie Malone involved, then I would say, okay. But we can clearly see that Annie Malone actually came up with this because she was a scientist. This woman was a scientist. Look at the backstory. Look at the backstory. Madam C.J. Walker was looking for a way to get money. She wasn't looking for a way to make sure her hair was great. That's not the origin story. She just happened to run up on this business and take advantage of this business that she did not actually have the passion and the backstory like Annie Malone did to create. Annie Malone was a scientist, and this was her passion. Let's tell the truth. Let's right this historical wrong. That's all I'm saying here. That's all I'm saying. Make sure y'all like this video. Make sure y'all share this video. Okay. Also, I want to invite everybody out to my live play. It's online. You guys could watch it from anywhere in the world online. The website that you can go to, I'm going to share my screen again so everybody can see the website. You go to darkskinactivist.com. Once again, talking too much. I got to drink some. I got to drink some tea here. Give me a second. Go to darkskinactivist.com. As you can see, tickets are on sale right now. You can click the buy now button and you can watch online from anywhere in the world. Or if you are in Atlanta, Georgia, you can click the buy now button and you can watch in person at the White Label, which is located at 349 Decatur Street, Southeast, Unit M. The show is going to take place at 7:30 p.m. 7:30 p.m. Once again, at 7:30 p.m. on June 26th, which is a Friday. Please also make a donation, a contribution to help me produce this show. You can go to my Cash App, my GoFundMe, or you can go to my PayPal. And I'm dropping those links in the chat box right now. Let's see here. My Cash App is $Rashida Once again, $Rashida. You can Google Rashida Strober GoFundMe and you can go directly to my GoFundMe page. Or you can go to my PayPal, which is icecreamladydream@yahoo.com. Once again, that is icecreamladydream@yahoo.com. So I encourage you guys to please go ahead and make a contribution. There is the that's the GoFundMe. You can go to the GoFundMe and make a donation, and you will be helping me to produce my live play coming up on June 26th. It's online. Anybody in the world, anywhere in the world, could watch. Again, the website is darkskinactivist.com. And I'll see y'all at the show. I want to thank y'all for watching this. Make sure y'all share. Make sure y'all like. Make sure y'all subscribe. Hit that notification button. And remember the website, darkskinactivist.com.